GYMDAD Fitness. Today we got a fun one for you guys. This is a loaded formula, something different than we've done yet. This is a beauty and another Project M product here. This is a collab with Project M and Nitro Nutrition. So make sure you follow Project M. They got like a couple different Facebook or Instagram accounts, and also follow that Nitro Nutrition. And I want to say that Nitro Nutrition was also in collaboration on the Speed Force one, if I remember right. Yes. So this is the same combo that brought us the Speed Force, which we really enjoyed. Such a smooth, euphoric ride with the low caffeine level that just allows you to really enjoy the players and 2-amino in that one. But this one, we're going to get into the label, but obviously, as you can tell, it's a big-ass tub, 40 grams for 2 scoops, and this thing is juiced up, and obviously, as you can guess, it's a performance-style pre. So what better day to take a pre like this than a leg day? And fresh tub right here. Flavor is Miami Vice, which we just had a Miami Vice flavor. And what was it? It's a branched chain amino acid. Jackson Nutrition had a Miami Vice branched chain amino acid. So maybe that's a new trendy flavor here. I know. I think Alpha Line did one too. It's summertime, so people feeling that. But obviously, 2 scoops is what we're rolling with. You can see pretty massive scooper. This is a 40-gram one. And I'll get my scale out here. Zero that out. 1 scoop comes in at 16.65. And then 2 scoops comes in at 34.13. So this is another of these ones that you want to go ahead and make sure you get some grammage. Gosh, I'm putting 43 in, but we'll be all right. Let me get on the lid too, just to verify. Big scoops like this, sometimes I get a little crazy with taking the scoops. That second one was good, but nice flat level there. Yeah, some of these ones, I don't know, like these people, like they want you to pack it in and then level it, or, you know, it's all varies. It's about 35. I packed it in, leveled it on those 2 scoops on the lid, and it came in at 35.59. So, you know, within a few grams. And then again, like it's off by 4 grams there, but we're dealing with a performance-based product, so there's going to be a lot of things that aren't technically stems. So it's not like you're going to be missing out on a whole lot of stems, but go ahead and weigh it out. Especially for something like this. I know I've loved this brand, but some of their scoopages have been a little inconsistent from batch to batch, which you have that when you're creating lots of pre-workouts and utilizing lots of different scoopers and things like that. So it's the least of my worries. If that's the only swing and a miss that people have is the measurement of their scoop. You know, if it was a straight stem package like a Tweak or the something like Excelsior or things like that, then we have a little bit of a problem. But when we get into the performance style pre's, which all theirs are, it's not that big of a deal. It's got that signature Project M sweetness to it. It's good. I guess I've had so many of their products now that I've become accustomed to something extremely unique. To me, it kind of just tastes like a sweet, fruity drink. I'm not sure exactly what all fruits are in a Miami Vice, but it's not bad at all. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to think of a way to describe it. So I'm losing my train of thought and words. But no, I enjoy it. To me, it's a very, very sweet, just like kind of on par with the other ones. One of these ones you probably drink with a lot more water, especially at 40 grams. Very, very sweet concoction they got going on here. But overall, really solid flavor. Not it's not going to blow you away. Not like, oh man, this is something completely unique and different. So it's a fruity, sweet flavor, is what I like to get at. No real bitter aftertaste, anything like that. No real chemically taste to it at all. There's not really anything. We'll get into the label, but this is a pretty clean performance-based product. This is the first one I think I've reviewed by them that does not have the 2-amino consisting in the formula. So a good one for leg day with a lot of performance type ingredients. But so overall, to sum it up for the weigh-in effects, a little light on the scale, Not as much as we saw with Judgment Day or Mindfucked. Mindfucked was one that was off by like 5 or 6, and it was a pretty full stim package, but it is off by a few grams, and it could be user error too. Who the fuck knows? But anyway, the taste was pretty solid too. But let's get into the label breakdown and effects. And the label breakdown should be quick. We're dealing with just a handful of ingredients, but absolutely massive doses. I mean, it's been a long time since I've had a 40-gram serving one, so just a little sneak peek for what we're gonna have on our hands here. But let's get into that. Time to get into the label breakdown and effects of the kitchen sink pre-workout by combination between Project M and Nitro Nutrition. So follow both of those guys on Instagram. And if you want to pick this one up, it's masscastapp.com, code GYMDAD to knock off a few bones. Also, before we get rolling, I still have like 7 or 8 GYMDAD Fitness Stim Junkie shirts left. As you can see, don't be afraid to go and bust off the sleeves of these ones too. I decided to cut the sleeves off one of them. Shirt looks pretty badass, sleeveless too. So I know it's summertime, so the oversized long sleeves sometimes aren't the most ideal. So I had to rip off the sleeves of this one. And let's get back into the kitchen sink. So if you are interested in that one, just message me on Instagram or my email in the channel info. This one comes in at 2 scoops. This is a 40-gram scooper. I ran this one 2.5 times. I'll tell you what the half means. Yeah, this one is, like I said, 40 grams. As you can see from the title, the kitchen sink kind of gives you a little idea what we're going to have on our hands here. This is a fully loaded pre-workout. Kind of in the group of, I know NutriBio made one called like Leg Day. That was kind of like that, where they tossed in everything performance-wise. I think Apollo Nutrition might have had something kind of similar to that as well. But it's kind of along those realms. So this is a little different than the other ones we've hit on reviews so far. And first, let's get it rolling with a citrulline malate at 10 grams. So pretty solid, even as the citrulline bonded with the malic acid. So you're not going to get the full purity of the citrulline, but sometimes people like that one a little bit more. Sometimes people think it tends to give them a little more pumps. I love 10 grams is a perfect dosage for me for citrulline malate. Then we have glycerol monstrate at 3 grams. This is another one. The pump shots have been getting really, really big, but I almost feel like the pump shots kind of create like a dirty, like bloated pump kind of feel versus like something like goes like like you just feel like Mrs. Puff from SpongeBob, man, when you're on that glycerol shots. And so I've always kind of enjoyed the higher, like the 1.5, the 1 gram to 3 gram range in the powder. I think sometimes less is more. I'm not saying I don't like the shots. I think there's a time and a place for those. But I really enjoy it in a lot of these powders too, at that 1 to 3 grams. And then agmatine sulfate, another gram. So this is a hell of a pump. These are my big 3 right here when it comes to pumps that I love to see in it. Also, I'm a huge fan of the Vaso Drive or Vaso 6, and also like beetroot extract too. But these are the 3 main ones for me for the pumps. The old citrulline glycerol agmatine combo. And then next we got Araya Genesis that coming in at 250 milligrams. Honestly, like when I picked this one up, I was thinking this was just like straight caffeine and performance. So the Araya bonus is going to add a little bit of nootropic effect. And then we got DMAE at 250 milligrams. That's SAE, not HA. So another little focus component there. And then beta alanine at 4 grams. We'll get into the tingles on that one and if how that one made me feel. We just ran Resilience, had 4 grams in it as well, so I have a decent comparison. And this is where a lot of the grammage comes from, the 40 grams. This is maltodextrin, which is like a carbohydrate. I think it's like from rice, white rice. And so that's going to provide some quick energy, help that increase some pumps, and mainly energy though for that one. Your pre-workout meals should always, I'm no health expert, but I always try to hit between like the 50 and 80 grams carbs. And so you got some quick carbs to kind of go along with your protein shake here, or your pre-workout shake here. So this kind of is a combo. I mean, they claim on label intra, post workout, extreme, pre, intra, post. Like you're going to get your whole little combo here. And we'll get into like what they say about post here. And then there's this build complex. It's a creatine monohydrate, 5 grams. So I am cool with it when they put creatine mono. It's never going to be a deal breaker for me. To me, I take my own creatine anyway. I do the creatine. If you ever watched my review on that one, catch that one. And there's a lot of cool research out on there for that one. It's one of the few gimmicky creatines. I call it gimmicky, like when these creatine adjustments that I actually do really enjoy. Probably one of my favorites since creatine HCl. And but creatine mono is the pride and the true. And so I feel like it's something in red meats and stuff like that. So it's like, I mean, let's have a little common sense. Can't go be taking 40 grams, but I think anywhere between 5 to 20, I've never really had any negatives. So I'm just going to continue to keep taking my regular creatine as well. But hell yeah, a little bit more added in here for the performance matrix. And then amino acids, essential amino acids. They don't give the breakdown of the actual amino acids included. It just says amino acids, which sometimes can be a little concerning, because I know like a lot of those proteins back in the day would claim spiked with or loaded with amino acids, and I feel like that was a key word to say. Like I know there's a big issue with distorting the amount of protein involved in a pre-workout by saying loaded with amino acids, and they could put in cheaper fillers. But this is a pre-workout, so that's not an alarm here for me. But I don't know, maybe on their website they'll give you the breakdown, or I'm sure if you reached out and asked them, they could tell you the valine, leucine, isoleucine, or we got the other 6 essential amino acids going on there. And then we have the sweat complex, which is synethrin HCl, and add a little bit sense of urgency and vitamin B3 to wrap it all up. And so the effects of the kitchen sink. So 3 runs on this thing. 2 runs, 2.5 I said. First run, I actually did this one on leg day when I was dragging, and so I microdosed, took 5 grams of Excelsior and comboed this with leg day, and it was out of this world insane. But I'm not going to report to you on that experience, because that's a mad scientist one. So I had a couple days in a row where I didn't run anything too crazy, and so I needed to mix it up, and I really wanted to try this one. And I was going to do Excelsior and legs. I'm like, why not just take less Excelsior and stack it? But okay, so let's get to the experience of scoop number 2. And actually, scoop 1, before I took the second scoop, would have been last night. I fell asleep with the kids, woke up really groggy. It was 10 o'clock at night. I went down. They have a casein shake, which I'll be reviewing. And it's, this is a loaded pre, so the tubs are very, very similar. And I accidentally mixed up the damn thing of kitchen sink with my milk and took a big swig of it at 10 o'clock at night. First time I've ever done that. Very close with the Alpha Line one time, the Alpha Dreams and the Superhuman, but never actually did it. And so that was not fun. I ended up getting to bed real late because I had probably about 50 grams of caffeine, not anything crazy, but in Araya and all that other stuff in there, about one good swig of it in my system. And so I had to put that back in the fridge, the rest of it with freaking milk. And so the next morning I took the remainder of this and hit the weights. And also I mentioned in the flavor review, I'm not sure what the Miami Vice is. It's a pineapple coconut esque flavor. So once I got that, you could definitely taste the pineapple. It's about 90% pineapple, the rest percent coconut, I would say. And the effects on day 2, hit this thing for back. Pre-workout all on its own, just the kitchen sink. And this one, the beta alanine, I didn't really get the itchy, scratchies, the tingles as much as I did with the resilience. I kind of, I don't know if I, from taking the resilience a couple days before, if that made me a little desensitized by it, possibly so. But I didn't really get much beta tingles. The pre kicks in about, we're just working with caffeine and Araya here, so I started getting energy within 20 minutes, and it continued to increase. I think it continued up to about 30 to 40, and it just kept slowly escalating, but never getting too over the top. It settled actually decently well in the stomach, which is another huge thing. I think that white rice maltodextrin source one is, it digests very, very quick, very easy. I felt like I had energy to go for days. It wasn't an over the top, out of this world energy where I felt like I needed to or ever take a break or ease it down. It was definitely a real power output type energy where you want to keep pumping iron and keep lifting weights, and you could definitely tell the carbohydrate assistance combo with all the stems providing you that nice source of energy, lacking on sleep from the experience the night before. And this one just really kept propelling me forward. It wasn't anything that mind-blowing, but it was just a good, solid, performance-based pre-workout with a nice little nootropic ad with that Araya. I'm really happy they sprinkled in I mean, 250, that's no like light dosage. Like, it's a pretty solid amount of Araya we have going on there. And so I still got a decent nootropic effect, even running this thing at, it was 9 a.m. the next morning. So like kind of an awkward time. I don't really lift that time. It's kind of a sleepy hour at the gym. And so the fact that it still hit like halfway decent during that time period is a very, very positive sign. So overall, to kind of sum this one up, it's a 20-minute kick in. Definitely the performance. This is a performance based pre. This is something that if you're going in to, just train like an absolute maniac, wanting to toss around numbers and not feel like cracked out, like where you're like out of your body experience. You're gonna feel everything. Like sometimes some of those pre's, man, you're so numb that you just kind of like are just like on, like you're just, the weights are just flowing. This one you're gonna have to put in like some effort to get this thing running, to get it revved up, just like any other daily driver S type pre. But I absolutely love this one. This is another one that just is a little bit different than the other things they carry, and you can definitely tell. I know that these brands target power lifters, real serious weightlifters, not just people looking to catch a buzz. And this is a serious performance complex. This is someone that doesn't fuck around in the gym, and they're there to pump iron and move shit around. And all in all, it checks all the boxes to what the label claims. It lives up to it. It provides everything that you would think would come in this pre-workout, with that touch of euphoria that it benefit of the Araya added is there as well. And so overall, pumps were awesome. I mean, a good solid like 9 out of 10. I wouldn't say it was like out of this world. It's definitely more of a full pump than a vascular pump. Performance and energy was a good 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, like nothing over the top, just the perfect level. Television focus, 7 out of 10. We just deal with the Raya here, so you're not going to get anything too crazy wise. And 7 out of 10 for euphoria as well. You obviously get a good, decent euphoria from the caffeine at 400 milligrams, and a nice little sprinkle of Araya, but nothing like that's going to blow your head off. So this is a really good pre-workout for, those days when you got to take something a little lighter. It's a non-alpha yo, non-2 amino, non-hidden ingredient type pre-workout that is just stacked to the brim with pumps, and provides you that carbohydrate increase as well too, that provides for that natural energy, not the energy, the artificial energy that caffeine and the Araya provide us. So sometimes we need a little assistance too. We need a little bit of carb add before, especially when we're training early and going to be training long periods of time. I mean, I went a little bit longer today, and this thing kept carrying. This thing had some legs, and legs not in the way of like Excelsior legs. This was in legs as in like clean, good pure energy legs is what I got from this one. And I have the day off, and so this thing, it not only did it take me to about the hour mark I usually hit for backs, but it propelled me to about 15 minutes over to do like a crazy burnout set. And so all in all, love this one. If you check these guys out, the Nitro Nutrition, and then also it's on the masscastapp.com, Project M, and GYMDAD to get that one. They're a really solid product, and it's really hard to like give this thing any like knocks for what they claim. You're getting everything you claim, and it lives up to the label 100%. But also freaking awesome design too. Definitely want to have this one on the shelf. Just make sure that you double check yourself before grabbing this one versus your proteins. But GYMDAD Fitness, like, subscribe, and catch me on my next review.